Hello, hello, and welcome to the episode of Cheyenne and Arapaho Productions podcast. We do got to do something about that name. It's a little bit long. Randy don't like it. But my name is Hartico. I'm a producer here at the station. And today I am joined by the Johnson O'Malley program. And just to get started, we'll probably go around here and have you guys introduce yourselves and just kind of explain, your title and how you guys, what the goal is for your position.
Okay, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. My name is Francine Williams, and I'm with the Cheyenne Arapaho Tribe's Johnson O'Malley program. I'm the Johnson O'Malley coordinator, and
Just kind of the goal for your position, you know.
okay. So I've been with the tribe for 22 years and coordinate this program, oversee the daily general duties of it, and oversee the overall budget and everything. I have 3 staff members right now, 2 full-time members, and then 1 part-time employee. And pretty much we do take care of all our tribal communities. We have 22 communities that we serve currently, in addition to surrounding communities that don't have as many students in their schools, but we still serve them. So we serve a lot of schools. I think 121 schools we serve. Within that service area, we serve about 2,500 plus students each year, and it's growing. So what we do is provide educational support services for students in public schools. A variety of services can range from athletic shoes to cap and gown fees, field trip fees, just anything that deals with school related items. We also have parent committees that we serve in those communities. We have volunteer parents that consist of the committee, and they help us because we don't know what their needs are until we have somebody there as a representative in those communities. So once we get them started as a committee, we do training with the parents and how to submit requests to our office, and then also guide them and help them to hold monthly meetings in their communities. And also they help us when we do our back to school events. They volunteer, they don't get paid, but we do try to provide incentives for them throughout the year, and they just learn more about Indian education.
There's a lot to unfold there and unpack. Can we just sit a little bit closer to your mic here? Yeah, just kind of a little bit further. Okay. Nikayla?
Hello, my name is Nikayla Lumpmouth, and I'm the administrative assistant for the Johnson O'Malley program. I have been here for 12 years. We serve all Native American students in grades pre-K through 12th grade with educational needs.
Nice.
Hello, I'm Christy Graham. I've been with the tribe for about 8 years. I do data entry, enter all the applications, get all the listings ready.
Nice. Thank you all for those introductions. Again, there's kind of a lot to unpack. Let's just kind of begin with the beginning. For somebody who didn't know, what is the Johnson O'Malley program?
Johnson O'Malley program is a supplemental program. We receive funding from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. We're very unique because we do assist with our Native students' needs in the public school setting. We also have a variety of different requests that we provide that some federal programs cannot assist with. And so there's a lot of different things that we help with our students that are going to school. And but we're a federal program, and we provide funding for needs that students may have, like eyeglass assistance. That's something that some programs don't provide to our schools, to our students in school, and we help with that. And that's kind of unique because not very many people can get the resources they need for their student. Also, we even assisted with dental one time, and that was a one-time only thing that we never had done before. And now we're introducing lunch fees, which would be a one-time assistance as well. So we just provide a variety of different requests. If we can meet them, we'll try our best to do so.
Yeah, that was one of the things. 'Cause even as myself, as a child, I got assistance from Johnson O'Malley, and as a kid, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a person. I was like, dang, he's a really nice guy. I get all these school supplies every year. So it's basically a supplemental program, a federal supplemental program, but it's broken down to a level, like a local level, essentially, because every community has its own needs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. We do a yearly needs assessment at the beginning of each school year. And actually, Johnson O'Malley were two individuals that created this program. They were senator. One was a senator, and one was, believe, was a congressman. But the tribe started contracting with the BIA in 1977. So we're 46 years old in our program.
Wow. Almost 50. Well, that's really interesting. And I mean, this is huge because obviously, as we know, the Indian education, for my family, for example, it wasn't a priority. We didn't sit around and talk about education, and nobody in my family ever pushed me to, excel in academics. And for the longest, I kind of felt like that put me back. It kind of set me back behind the starting line, whereas everybody else got to start the starting line. I was already started back here. And it just wasn't a priority in my family. When I didn't even graduate, I dropped out and I got my GED, and I did go to college, and I was the first one. And I know a lot of people say that, but it's true. A lot of our generations did break those boundaries, and that was something that I was awfully proud of. And then, of course, nobody in my family was really, oh, okay, cool. It's like, hey, look, I got my actual degree. But it is really cool to see how far we have come as a people, because of programs like this, and I think that's cool because my kids, get assistance from JOM as well, and it does go a long way. Those supplements do go a long way, and it does it carries a lot, especially whenever they see tribal citizens giving them to them and interacting with them. They have those relationships. So I think it is, and you can see that improvement in our people a lot, where education is becoming, valued. And it's becoming cool. It's cool to be educated, and even in our hallway here, we got, 3 or 4, people employed, trying to get their PhD, and it's cool. It's cool to see that. So, I guess one of the things that I was looking up, because I was trying to do my own research on JOM, I want to look like a complete, tool out here. But I saw that there was like 4 categories that they really try to hit, which was like the culture, cultural enrichment, the language, like language support, academics. Obviously, as you touched on academics assistance, and dropout prevention, which would have saved me a lot, But the different programs for that. So I was going to see if we can kind of maybe talk about each of them individually, and maybe how we are hitting those, like the culture aspect. How are we hitting that mark? Like what are we doing? What kind of events do we got?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
For the cultural I know we have our Yukon JOM, our Mustang JOM, El Reno. The ones that do have committees, they really push the cultural, and Yukon is having like a cultural night. And so they have dancers, they serve dinner, and just have a lot of activities to provide for their students.
That's awesome. Because obviously who we are as Indian people, as cultural, and that was what they tried to take from us for so long. And, that age, especially, is, you go through a lot of identity crisis, so I think it is imperative to see that, and hey, that is where I'm from. That's one of my things is I know we can look back on history, on our ancestors, and see those pictures and the way they carried themselves, the way, how nice they looked. Their hair was braided up, it was combed, and they had their teeth. And, no offense to anybody back there, but, we did. Hygiene was important to us. And, our regalia with the designs, the quill work, the ribbon work, the bead work, anything like that. We always, wanted to look nice and present ourselves well. And so that's who we come from. That's our people. That's our heritage, and so culture is important, and obviously we inherited it and we're looking to, push it on to our future generations as well. So bridging that, historical culture, to modern to future. So I think that's really cool. Anybody else have anything to say about the cultural aspect?
When we go out and do some of our presentations, we always present the buffalo box, and the kids enjoy that. They love looking at all the different pieces, and we tell them how we used each part of the buffalo, and they enjoy hearing about that. And I enjoy doing the presentation now.
Yeah, we learn as we go.
Yes.
And we research and study, so we'll know more information to give the students.
That was actually something I learned a lot about too when I started, the buffalo box, and just, we obviously knew that we used a lot of the buffalo. We didn't realize, what it was all for, it is really cool to actually see it, and say, oh, that makes sense. We use that for the sack, or use that for fly swatter, or, for comb, or whatever it might be. And you can also see how, that is unique to us as Plains tribes. But, what would it be for like a West Coast tribe, or what would it be for an East Coast or up North tribe? Like what would their buffalo box be? You know what I mean? Like what kind of version would they be in terms of an agricultural aspect? So
Yes.
that's really interesting, and it's kind of cool how each program can, uniquely, I don't know what the word is, but, basically apply it to themselves. This is our tribe, this is our history, this is our culture. So that's pretty cool. I guess we talk about the language support. How are we supporting that? And, how, is it revitalization, obviously?
I believe it is small steps for us because we just know a few words, in Cheyenne and Arapaho, but we don't really get into our language like we need to be. But we all have our own way of learning as well. I do teach tribal hymns down at Darlington School during the school years, mostly in November during Native Heritage Month. And the kids that we teach are third, fourth, and fifth and sixth grade. In third and fourth, they're really, they pick up on it really quick and they love singing. Fifth and sixth, they're kind of shy. They kind of don't want to sing loud. But there are some kids in those grades that really like it. They want to learn it. So each year we go down there and I teach them the tribal hymns. We teach them about maybe 3 or 4 hymns. But even now, our tribal hymns, we're losing our tribal hymns. Just recently I seen a post about how hardly anybody sings those tribal hymns when they're at funeral services. Everybody's looking around for someone to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And all our singers have gone on, or some just don't want to sing. And so those of us that are, I thought we were newbies, but we're not newbies no more. We're the ones that have to get up and sing now. And so it's also a learning process as well, because I know about 10 songs, but I want to know more. I want to learn more. I know more Arapaho than I know Cheyenne. I know a couple of Cheyenne songs. And when I teach it, I try to teach both languages and not just one. But I want to learn more Cheyenne songs as well.
And that is something that makes us unique as well, is the fact that we are two tribes in one. And a lot of times people who don't understand that, they don't quite understand what we have to go through to hit both sides, to cover both sides and represent them. And we will be held accountable one way or another for that. So it's something that we do make a priority here at the tribes. In language, that is something that, again, is we've seen a lot of lately, in the rise of, and I love going to these different events and hearing our youth introduce themselves in their native language. And, even that gives a great sense of pride and belonging. And just seeing how far we've come as a people, and like you said, it was, when I grew up, it was, it was hard. My grandfather spoke fluent Oto, and he was always trying to talk to me and pass it on, but I always felt like, there's no one to talk to, and I don't, it was just kind of my reason to not pick it up. And now, obviously I hold myself. It's like, oh man, I should have learned way more than than I know now, because I could have been passing it on. But it is cool to see that people have taken that initiative and picked up that fight and are carrying on that language. And it's cool to see that programs like this are able to assist as well, in their own ways. So, does anybody else have anything they want to talk about with the language? Well, again, another category I saw was the academics. I know you touched up a lot on that, academics assistance, and so I guess even I was thinking you were talking about it sounded like you had talked about a couple of sports objects as well. Was that what you say? You said bags? No, well, it's just book bags, I guess. Backpacks. So how else academically does JOM support?
We assist with ACT fees. So for the high school students that want to, pursue college, we'll help with ACT fees. We do concurrent. So if they're already in college, we can assist with their concurrent fees as well.
Nice.
We also help with driver's ed. We'll pay for that, and like any VOTEC fees they need help with, we'll help with that, or their equipment needed for VOTEC.
And so I guess it just kind of made me think about it, but the relationship with the schools, like what capacity do you guys work with the schools?
Mostly we work with the secretaries of the schools and some counselors. We also work with superintendents. Not too many, but our list is growing now. So, which they're very helpful. And we, prior to the pandemic, we were trying to go out and do outreach into our schools just to meet and greet and get familiar with who works there. And when the pandemic hit, we only had I think 3 schools. I think Thomas was one, Watonga, and then El Reno. But we were wanting to reach out to more schools at that time. So we're still working on that. But we've always worked with school counselors. We've always worked with secretaries because they can always get us the information that we need to provide the assistance to their students. Also, the Title VII coordinators. There are more, getting to be more Native American Title VII coordinators in the public school systems, which are very helpful. They get our student count lists completed, and they can also submit requests to us. So we have probably about maybe 5 that are in the school system that we work with.
You brought up Title VII and made me think, what is the difference between Indian education and JOM?
Well, Title VII or Title IX, they always change their number. They can help more with tutoring. services, and also they pay for the salaries of the Title VII or 9 coordinator fees. And I believe they can also help with some requests, but not all. Like JOM can help with school supplies and all that, and maybe refreshments and stuff that they can't help with at a meeting. We can help with. Um, so we're a little different than they are. We try not to, you know, provide the same assistance, and I think a lot of people do. A lot of people don't understand that Title is different from JOM,
Mm-hmm.
and but Title is a great program too. I mean, like I said, they help with tutoring, and they can pay for tutors, and but we also can also pay for tutors. So, but we try not to duplicate services.
That makes sense. And I guess this last little one here is dropout prevention. And is that something that's obviously we work on with our students?
Yes, and no, because there's so it's disconnect there with the school and the tribe where we don't know if our students are dropping out. We don't know when they dropped out of school because we don't have that communication with the school to notify us that one of our students did drop out. It's usually hearsay. We hear about it, and but there's a disconnect there. We can't really reach that student once they drop out of school. We don't know about it. But the tribe does provide services to get our students GEDs. So, that's through the Dreams program. And I also wanted to say one more thing about Title
Oh yeah.
in education. They also have a challenge bowl they do, and they also have the, I can't think of it. There's other services they provide, but I can't remember it. But they also have I know what it is, the Oklahoma Indian Honor Society. So they, recruit students to that. But the tribes also have an honor club program, but it's also just for tribal students that are Cheyenne and Arapaho.
Mm-hmm.
And also our committees, they can provide incentives for grades and attendance, or provide an award for all the students, like maybe at the end of the year incentives.
Mm-hmm. That's really nice. We were talking about the dropout, and that's like you were saying, disconnect there. And, I was trying to think of, any kind of prevention methods. But again, you just said the disconnect. It's kind of hard to know that. I was trying to think of myself because, again, I was a dropout. And I dropped out in 10th grade. And I don't know if there was any way people could have stopped me. I was already kind of in my mind. Like I said, I didn't prioritize education. It wasn't a priority to me. It was just a social time, go to school and socialize, and hook up with friends and drop, go skip classes. And, I guess the only, besides that kind of behavior from me, my grades, because I didn't have very good grades. But again, I wasn't like seeking help or, people weren't there really checking on me in terms of my family, my grades or anything, counselors or anybody like that. So I guess it would have been kind of hard to, outside of, my behavior, to notice that maybe I was about to drop out, and if it could have been prevented in any kind of way, I don't know, honestly, because unfortunately I was just one of those kids. I just had to learn the hard way, people would talk to me all day, but eventually I was going to do what I was going to do. And so that's just unfortunately how I had to learn. And, hopefully, kids out there aren't following that path, but, some will. And, those kind of ones I was thinking about in terms of prevention, But I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything like that. Drop, any ideas?
I know that, even in my family, my daughter was a senior in high school and she was contemplating dropping out. I think it was just, I don't know what it was, just the fear of graduating and, what's next, kind of like not sure what she wanted to do. And she just had high anxiety and she was just ready to quit. But like you said, you know, if you have family support and someone encouraging you to complete, you know, that's what a lot of our kids need. They need encouragement, and they need somebody there to tell them you can do it. You know, but a lot of our families are not a lot of them, but a lot of our students struggle with that because they don't have that family support. And we really need to educate our parents to be there for their student all the way to the finish line, you know, and graduate. I know my husband, he dropped out in 10th grade as well in high school, but he went back to school and graduated from high school. So you're not the only one,
Yeah, unfortunately.
you know. But,
Yeah.
you know, I heard of other people dropping out and continuing their education and getting their degrees, you know. So I commend you.
You know, and that's kind of the thing too. It is one of those things because, you know, we can dive really deep into this, but it's one of the things that, you know, I felt like is because, you know, back then it was always, you know, oh, Indians don't do good in school, you know, blah, 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 they're failing in school. And even back then I felt like it wasn't us, it was the system that failed us as Indian people. You know, it wasn't really designed for us to succeed, you know, because our culture and the way that we're brought up, the way we learn, didn't necessarily fit in with, you know, the mainstream. And I think it wasn't just by chance that a lot of Indians struggled with education. You know, there's a reason behind all of this. Just like alcoholism. Oh, Indians are how much alcohol. Well, we're not born like that. Something happens in life, you know, that gets you there, you know. So there's more to it than meets the eye. And that's kind of how I felt about the education. Even when I was in it, that's the reason why I just felt like it wasn't for me, you know. But like I said, again, that's deeper, just another subject.
Yeah, and I do have a story because we had two graduate, my son Isaiah and Michaelin, this past year. Isaiah was a struggle. I want to say the last 2 months of high school, he didn't want to go. He wasn't doing his work. I kept in touch with his teachers. I was emailing because I was that support and I wanted him to graduate. He did walk across the stage. He got his diploma and he thanked me. So
Absolutely.
it's just having to be there and push him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, sometimes you can't leave them up to their own devices. You know, you need that guidance. You know, as a kid, you need that push. You know, you just like with a little kid, hey, don't, you know, run with that scissors in your hands. You know, whatever it might be. Like sometimes, like, you know, we have to be kept in order. And even as teenagers, young adults, we have to. Even as adults, we have to. You know, don't speed. Put on your seatbelt. You know, I mean, we have to be held accountable and sometimes, you know, corralled into the right direction. So, good job. You know, that's obviously what parents are for as well. You know, you're involved, and that was a priority. And in hindsight, he thanked you for it because he knew, you know, that was it's something that's going to benefit him. You know, that's kind of like with me and my grandpa. At the time, I was always like, "Oh, you're so strict on me," but in hindsight, I was like, "It's because he was trying to keep me from doing what I was doing." You know, but you guys anything else on that? You guys want to touch up on? Well, you guys have been bringing up parents. How do you keep parents informed, or how do you keep parents involved with, you know, what you guys are doing?
I prepare the listings, so we have their email addresses. If they have parent committee meetings, I email those out and let them know. We try to post on Facebook and Instagram, all social media. So we try our best to keep them informed that way.
Do you get good responses?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people will message back if they can't make it or whatever. So,
Or they ask when the next meeting will be. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. You know, like any kind of participation, any parents kind of reaching out, you know, like asking questions, how they can get involved, or, you know, just asking questions in general. What is this or what is that?
yeah, this past year we had parent workshops, and that helped a lot. That made us a couple of communities. We formed actual parent committees in those communities, so that helped a lot, and I hope we can do some more of those in the future.
Is that what a parent workshop is? Just kind of finding.
Yes, just trying to get a group together for each community, and it only takes 2 or 3 people to make a community. So
What we did was educate the parents that came to the workshop. We educated them what was JOM and explained to them. And then also we provided a PowerPoint presentation. And then I discussed everything about what it was to be a parent committee member and how to be, how to get involved. And I told him at the end, I was like, we can't have a program without you parents, and we can't have a program without the students. And then Nikayla did a presentation.
Yeah. But, a lot of these parents, they think we just provide school supplies, and they don't know, like we do ACT fees or class fees and other stuff like that. They're just like, oh, we thought y'all just gave us school supplies. But no, there's a lot more to JOM.
Right. And what kind of things does the parent committee oversee?
The parent committee, once they're established, they oversee, they have their meetings, and then they decide on how they're going to spend their money, because they get funded each year based on their student count. So it's like $25 per student this year. Because our program has grown, the funding's not as much as it was before, because we had less students. Now we have more students that are getting into our program. So we give them a budget amount, and then they create their budget for the monies that we send to them, and then they turn in, they have to approve everything. So if Jane comes in and needs a pair of athletic shoes or eyeglass assistance, then the parent presents it to the committee at their meeting, and if the JOM parent committee wants to approve that, then they go ahead and approve it in their meeting minutes, and they send that in to us with the request and the documentation, and we process it for payment. They also plan their activities too. They also, are part of that planning process. So they can use that funding however they need to use it for cultural events, our cultural activities that they have in their communities.
Nice. And so I know you're talking about these payments and stuff, and based off account. What are those requirements for eligibility to determine account?
You want to talk about eligibility?
Well, to be on JOM, you have to be enrolled with a tribe and hold a tribal membership card. And that's where we're different from the title. Title, they don't have to have a card, and they can just be like a descendant to be on title. But JOM, since we're federal, all the kids have to be enrolled with a tribe.
And so as long as they're on the list, the student listing that we create, because we can't create the list without the application. And once we get the application and the tribal membership, then Christy creates the listing for us. And then when we do get the request in and say, Jane's so-and-so needs the eyeglass assistance, so we look up her name, make sure she's on the program before we can provide assistance to her. So that's how that.
I get it. And so you guys you said 22 communities?
Yeah, we probably have, I know we have 22, but also we have communities that are like smaller communities that we link them with a bigger community like Canton. There's Fairview. There's O'Keene. O'Keene's in between Watonga and Canton, but I believe O'Keene's closer to Canton. So we combine those two smaller communities with Canton. So we add all those students' numbers, and then this is how much funding Canton's going to get. But they have to know that you got students in Fairview, you got students in O'Keene. Same way with Mustang used to be like that with, no, not Mustang, Yukon used to be like that with Piedmont, because we only had like maybe 3 students from Piedmont. Now that we established a committee in Piedmont, we have over 120 kids.
Wow.
So we're serving 120 kids now. So they have their own committee now.
And I think Piedmont just keeps growing.
So I take it that it's not just, obviously I know you touched upon that, but it's not just CNAs that you guys work with. It's anybody with
it's any tribe, as long as they're enrolled.
As long as they're enrolled. So do you guys know a body count for our district here? Like, you know.
Well, right now we're still counting.
Right, right.
We're still doing the list for this year. You know, it's been different since we've been in the pandemic. The last 2 years, it wasn't like how it used to be. We're really struggling on getting our listings down because how we're having to accept applications now because of the pandemic. Before we were out and about, we were going to each community giving out paper applications. And since the pandemic came in 19 and 20, we had to do everything online. So we had job form applications. Working with job form applications, it's good in a way, but then there's a downfall because they get caught up in the system. And we really had a lot of problems last year. We're still having problems this year. We thought we were going to solve those issues, but they're not solved. And they seem like they keep growing. And so we're working on that, but we did have I think it was 2,572 kids that we served last year.
Oh, wow.
But we won't know a actual count until we send out the listings to all the schools to verify if these kids are in their school system. So we're still working on that count. Hopefully we'll have our student count by the end of this year.
Right. And so is this like just K through 12? Or do you guys, is it begin like in preschool or?
We start at 3 years old with our tribal Head Starts are included in our contract with the federal government. So it starts at 3 years old. And then with public schools, it's pre-K through 12th grade.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I know we've been talking about these schools, but, you know, in terms of like, you know, like schooling or organizations or entities, who else do you guys work with? Well, okay, I'll just, because I saw here it said tribal organizations, Indian corporations.
We do work with vendors, other vendors, you know, that provide assistance to our communities as well as, you know, like T-shirt companies and stuff whenever they do their T-shirt ordering. We receive funding from Lucky Star Casino. The past 2 years, we received a donation.
Nice.
Which really helps us because we provide our school supplies and backpacks with those funds. And also they help supplement our gaming funds at the end of the year when we run out. We're still able to provide assistance to tribal members or whoever's needing assistance when we run out of gaming funds, because our gaming funds are for tribal members only or descendants of tribal members. They have to have a CDIB-2 in order to receive that assistance. But so we work with other organizations, other programs, other departments. We, especially here in education, and we provide that service to our Head Start, tribal Head Start programs as well. Provide cultural activities with them as well, and they always have requests throughout the year for all their children's activities they have for like Halloween, Valentine's,
Easter, Christmas.
yeah, Christmas. So
Nice. I just wanted to, you know, touch upon one more. I know you guys were talking. You said the tribe's working with JOM since the 70s, 46 years,
yes,
something like that. Is that a contract with, you know, with the Department of Interior, like, you know, the BIE, or like, you know, like who do you guys, is it the state, Oklahoma, somewhere? I mean, who do you guys kind of like deal with or answer to?
It's the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
Okay.
They had a contract. The tribes had a contract in, I think it was in the fall of 1977. And at that time, I believe Wanda Whiteman was the JOM coordinator or director. And so that's 46 years ago. So, or something like that, 46 years ago. And I've been here 22 years in Johnson O'Malley, so I'm almost half of that. A lot of years.
Well, I mean, I'm glad because obviously there's something about it that you were drawn to or some sort of a calling. I imagine that for each of you, you know. Maybe talk about that a little bit. What drew you to this line of work?
Well, I just like to help. I like to help the kids, and because a lot of kids are living with their grandparents. So just being able to assist them and help them with the needs. And, when we give them their school supplies or their backpacks and the little ones get to pick out a bag, just seeing their face, they're so happy, that that's their bag, So just being able to help and provide assistance, just, I just love it.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. And I know that a lot of our kids come from lower income homes. And so the assistance helps provide them with a sense of pride when they can get some new eyeglasses and be able to see in class. So I like being able to do that.
Very fulfilling, I imagine.
And for me, I've always enjoyed Indian education growing up. And when I attended elementary, I know my Indian education coordinator taught us how to do sign language in the Lord's Prayer. We've always participated in the school assemblies. And also, my mother, she had a family of 5. And when her and my dad divorced, title, JOM, they were always supportive of my mom. And I remember being taken out of classroom and going down to the general store downtown Anadarko. And the coordinator told me, pick out a coat, pick out you some tennis shoes, So just that little bit, helped my mom because my mom had 5 of us trying to raise 5 kids on her own. That really helped her. And as me going into high school, Barbara Cobrick was our internet coordinator there at El Reno High School, and she always had different field trips planned for us kids, things that we wouldn't be able to go to, like just to the Oklahoma State Fair back then growing up. My mom didn't have the money to take us to the fair, but Indian Ed did. And at that time, as the years go by, there's many changes have been made to how you can spend these funds. And it continues today. Now we're told they sent us a list. The Bureau of Indian Affairs sent us a list last year and said, this is how you can spend your funds. So, the list narrows down. We can't buy like coats for kids or, there's just different things. You can buy jackets, but it has to be, there's a reason for a jacket. You have to have a purpose now. But, like me, I just was always drawn to Indian education and being here in this program. I was either Head Start or Johnson O'Malley. That's where I worked here when I first started with the tribe. I worked in Head Start. I was a teacher aide van driver, just being around kids, I guess. I like that. And being helpful to the teacher. And then also after that, I went on to Johnson O'Malley. Then I went back to Head Start, and then I came back to Johnson O'Malley, and I've been here since. So I just have a passion for it, I guess. And I just love our parents. We try to work with them each year, and help them. And like Nikayla stated, our grandparents, now we have grandparents raising their grandchildren. And so just they're not used to doing online applications. So they just come back here, they come to education and they fill out the paperwork, but we're always there trying to help them, along the way because, some grandparents might have 5 grandkids they're raising. And then the grandparents either in their 70s or 80s, just barely getting around. I had one grandparent meet me outside honking at me, and I went over there and she goes, hey, I come to get an application. So I ran our clipboard out there, got her to sign, and we got it completed and provided that assistance. So I think my staff, we go beyond the call of duty sometimes, but we know that the needs are there. in our communities.
You guys absolutely do, and like I said, being a parent myself, I thank you guys so much for everything you guys have done, not just for my kids, but for everybody's kids, and like you said, people recognize you guys, there's a JOM team, and you guys do community outreach. I am used to seeing you guys set up different booths, different areas and stuff like that, providing information. And, like you touched up on, a lot of our elders are, trying to do this. And it's intimidating even for someone like me, going into when I filled out, my application to go to college, I was intimidated. I walked in, I didn't know what to do. And for some reason, I must look like I know what I'm doing because nobody offered me no help. I was like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do, and I don't know, even though basic stuff, we got to go fetch your fast food. You fetch your fast food. And I don't even know what that is. Stuff like that. Again, a lot of our people come from that kind of a background, and a lot of times we are a little more passive. We're not going to go out, and hey, help me, anything like that. We're just going to kind of try to figure it out ourselves or look for help. So that was good that you did that, and that's kind of what I was going to say. So for somebody who wanted to reach out to you guys or, get something started, what's the best way to go about it?
Well, they can call our office. They also can email us. The tribe has a tribal directory, so our phone numbers are in there, or email to us. And then also visit us. We're located at 200 Wolf Road Circle here at Concho, and our hours are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's just really basic. We have a paper application. We can email it to you. We're working on getting it online, where they can complete it online. We're also in the process of a JOM portal. So hopefully we'll get that set up next year, and everybody will have their own ID account that we can help them set that up. And so they'll be able to fill out the applications there on the portal. Also to request assistance on the portal. So we're looking forward to that. It's been a long road of waiting for it, and I believe it's almost here. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully all those problems we've been having the last 2 years will be solved.
Yes, going paperless almost. You guys were talking about cultural earlier, and it made me think, but I didn't ask. Do you guys have a JO1 princess?
No, we don't. I always wanted to have a J1 princess and a brave because, I attended Riverside Indian School, and we always had a princess and we had a brave, but that never really came to be. But maybe we'll look more into that and have one. So.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Go through the process of that. And just having somebody represent you guys' program, I think that'd be really awesome. I have seen them before. That's what made me ask. So.
Yes, we do have a Weatherford JOM program that has a Native American Indian club in their school. It's open to anybody. They started having a JOM powwow last year for their students, and then they're planning having another one. It had to be postponed this November, but they're planning another one. It will be the second annual JOM powwow there.
Nice. And again, any way that we can assist, here at the, C.A.P, let us know. Be glad to always help out, even if it's just promo or PSAs or live streaming or anything like that. We're all under the umbrella. So, any way we can help.
Yeah, I think Darren does the live streams during our back to school events. So he catches me off guard and puts me on the spot. So it's like, we're all hot and sweating and loading up supplies and dropping supplies, and but yeah, he comes up from nowhere.
Yeah, he likes to do that. He likes to, and he does the same with me. He tries to make me, he views it as encouraging me to step out of my bubble, because he knows I don't like doing it. So, well, is there anything you guys want to talk? Anything else you guys want to say on behalf of your program or your positions or anything? Any final thoughts? Final words?
Well, I just want to say one thing about our parents, the parent officers that we do have. They volunteer their time. And like I told them before, without them, we wouldn't have a program. And so We do provide a Rebecca Castleberry Award in December at our last meeting of the year, and that individual that receives the Rebecca Castleberry Award is one that has strength, one that is a leader in their community, and determination. And I think I can't remember the fourth quality of that reward, but we tried to look at all the officers that served throughout the year, and then we picked that individual because we feel like that person is, should be awarded that award. And Rebecca Castleberry was unique. She was actually a parent in Gary. She was a different tribe, but she also had children in the program. But she had a disability, and she had to be in a wheelchair. But Rebecca would come to the office, and she wanted to know what she needed to do, how to get an activity for her Gary community, for her students there. And she'd come into our office, she'd wheel herself in and get all the information that she needed from us, suggestions on how to do things. And then she'd go back and she'd get all the paperwork stuff and she'd send it in, and the activity took place, and I just admired her because I was like, well, if this parent could do this in her community, then, we could recognize her. She had passed away. And so we named an award after her. And we tried to find an individual who fits that description. So each year we award them with a plaque and then give them some money and, just recognize them in their accomplishments. But we love our parent committee members that come, take part of our program, and we try to support them with all the, things that they need to know about JOM and how to do the paperwork and all that and submit it to us. But we got a lot of officers who are just very dedicated and, like, for instance, Tiffany Johnson, she was one of our first awardees. She started that program up in Piedmont from just having 3 students. The first year she got 100 students, and now she's up past 120 students now, and she just really out there for the Native students there in Piedmont. We've had many other officers who were like title directors that are now officers because we can't get enough parents to get involved, so they step up to the plate. And then they try to recruit parents to get involved. So that's why we need those parent officers, because they're the ones who grow our program. And just like with the parent workshops that we did have, we had one in Clinton, and we invited all the parents to come, and we had parents from Elk City and Sayre, and Elk City didn't have a committee at that time. And just having that parent workshop, there was like 3 parents that attended from those areas, and they go, hey, how can we start one in Elk City? And so we have a committee in Elk City now because of the parent workshop.
Nice. That says a lot that people want to get involved like that, and I think that's a great award, to recognize, and honor the legacy of Rebecca Castleberry like that, Thank you for sharing that with us. Yes. And that kind of reminded me too, because, even though you guys do deal with, these school districts and schools and, school season, you guys are year round, you guys don't get a summer off or any breaks like that, and JOM's obviously, dearing to me because, my daughter worked for you guys as well, and even last night I was talking to her about it, and just kind of surprised how much she knew and picked up, I was like, what is JOM? She looked at me like, what are you asking? And I was like, well, if I didn't know anything about JOM, how would you explain it? And then she pretty much was, same thing you guys said, supplemental program that helps Indian kids. And, I was like, well, how do they help them? And she's kind of was, they give them supplies, she's at tutoring, they, create a mailing list, and she's just kind of going on. And I was like, we'll see, she's picked it up too, and she understands, what you guys provide and the importance of it. That's what she was saying, that, she really didn't know as much and appreciated it as much until she got to really get hands on and learn what you guys do and what you guys go through, because it's not all fun and games. I know that,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Trinity's a really good worker. We really like her.
Trinity's also one of our honor club students as well, and she's super. We couldn't do it without her in the summertime. She's so smart, and she picked up really quick what we do, and we just felt comfortable just leaving her by herself sometimes because that's how it is. Christy started. We got Christy hired on right before school supply time. And she didn't know what she was going to go through. Wanted to elaborate on that?
Yeah, it was just us three. And so they had to go out to the communities to give out school supplies and everything. I'd be left here at the office and the phone would be ringing off the hook. People wanting to know when they were going to be there, what was going on. So I'd have to answer the phones, and people were coming in to bring applications in because it was all paper back then. So I was running to make copies and trying to get all that together. So I was just kind of thrown into the fire.
I guess sometimes the best way to learn.
Yes.
Well, one way or another, you got to learn.
Yeah, and we also hire youth during the summer time, to help us with packing up supplies and stuff. And we really tried to recruit youth, try to recruit boys because, we need that manpower. And, but we're going constantly for a month. We're in and out. And that's how it used to be. The last 2 years we didn't have to do that because we received some ARPA funding. And, we were able to provide a Visa card to help the parent. And also we received CARES funding as well. So that following year we were able to do another, card distribution where we didn't have to go out and do the supplies. But now we're back, and we had to go out and deliver supplies. And I just wanted to let everyone know out there that if your kids need school supplies, we still have some. And they can get supplies anytime throughout the year if they run out. So just to let you guys know that, just call our office if you guys need supplies.
Wow. See, I didn't know that either. That's a great piece of information. So thank you again for sharing that. And, thank you guys all again, for everything you guys do for, all of our children, our youth, our future, and I just can't, express it enough. Yeah. You guys, anybody that gives back, and it's some type of a service to our people, it's like you guys just all told a ton of gratitude, and people don't see, like you said, all the behind the scenes that you guys deal with, and I know you guys are busy. I see you guys all the time lugging stuff in and out, and, I would, just helping parents out, tribal citizens, with information and everything that you guys do, keeping it going, because it does go a long way. And that's, those supplements, people might not be, it's almost to the point people expect them, it's like, because they rely on, because you guys have been so consistent, and I do appreciate the gift cards and everything like that. They do go a long way. So again, I just want to thank you guys for coming in, sharing your information, sharing this knowledge and your time with us, and allowing us to, help you guys, here at the station like this, letting us provide a service too. This is what we're here for. So anything again in the future that we can help with, if you guys ever want to come in and do this again, get some more information out, PSAs, or, like I said, any help at your events, always, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And like I said, I'm just so thankful that, we get to work with people like you in this hallway, this education department. Yeah, it's just such a blessing. And I always say it's the best job I've ever had. And, truly blessed and spoiled in a lot of ways. So, again, if you guys have anything last thing to say, if not, again, thank you guys for coming out. And I truly appreciate the opportunity to sit down and talk with you guys about your program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope.